Namaste, welcome back, and we guide you through another 1 hour yoga class with Stefano. So as always, if you have a mat, that's ideal. If you have a block, that's great. If not, anything that looks like one could come handy at some point during the class. We're gonna start sitting down, cross-legged, and again, it sounds easy. Also, the pose is called Sukhasana, which means easy pose, but your spine will tend to round, and we don't want sloppy spines at any stage in yoga. So one of these, or a cushion plucked against the back of your pelvis, perhaps you lift up on the edge, will help lengthen your spine. That's really what you want in a comfortable way. Drawing your shoulders down, away from the ears, resting your hands onto your thighs. And we start as usual with 2 deep breaths, followed by 2 nice sighs out. We might really need it. And once more. How nicely that draws the line. We're going to focus on our breath, starting with an exercise of pranayama or yoga breathing. As always, the focus of this class will be recalibrating through focus and balance. So a few balancing poses will be offered. If you're not good at balancing, make sure you are not too far from a wall or something that gives you support. So, we're gonna practice a special type of pranayama that is gonna help with the focus and with the recalibrating of our mind. So this is called Brahmari breathing. So it's a noisy breath. It's a nice way to set the pace that we want to have in today's class. So it goes simply this way. We're going to breathe in through the nose into the abdomen, feeling the full capacity of the lungs. And as you breathe out, we're going to hum all the way through until we need to breathe in again. We're going to do this 3 or 4 times together. So let's have a go. Let's breathe in together through the nose. And breathing in. If there's any background noise where you are, you can try and put your hands over your ears while you do it. One last time. And resume your complete yoga breathing or regular breath. Just noticing how a little bit of yoga breathing would have changed your perception already. Calm your mind, press the reset button, allow you to start practicing in the right state of mind. We might just come in after rushing here and there, after seeing all the news and having our mind just blow up with information. We just need to reset first, and here we are. So, ready to start? We're gonna do a little bit of a warm-up to start with. So let's start by linking each hand to the opposing wrist. Let's bring those overhead, right over the top of the head. And let's draw some circles so that those wrists pass right in front of the navel and right on top of the head. So here we're not looking at swinging the spine, it's just the movement of the arms into your shoulders. So important to focus so that you confine that movement to the arms. And then next time the hand come overhead, we can reverse that. And if you feel that you can go further, you can start to walk those hands toward the wrist, maybe even get a hold of towards the elbows. Mindful that it would be hard to bring those forearms right over the top of the head, so make sure that you're not overly tightening the grip, otherwise you'll be kind of losing the movement. And with this, we're building up a little bit of warmth that we will need later for some shoulder poses. And one more circle, and then we stop there and release. Do some little bit extra work for the shoulders and spine. Let's inhale to bring both arms up towards the ceiling. We interlace the fingers and press up into the hands. We gaze up at the backs of the hands. As we lengthen our spine and lengthen our arms, feel the stretch in the shoulders completely. Inhale to your full lung capacity, separate the hands, and exhale, bring those hands down behind you, stretching back as you draw the shoulders back. Nice stretch in the fronts of those shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, bringing the arms forward and interlacing the fingers. Opposite movement, chin to the chest, pressing the shoulders down and try and stretch in the space between the shoulder blades. Often we need stretching there. When you need to inhale, bring those arms back up to where we started. We separate the hands, and as we exhale, we bend to the left this time. Left hand to the floor, right arm going overhead. Just moving slowly, confining the movement to be a bend, side bend of the spine. In this case, not lifting the right hip, but keeping that right hip firm in contact with the floor. Inhale to lift back to parallel hands. Exhale, right hand to the floor, left arm arcing over. Same thing. Inhale to feel the stretch for your left side. Exhale to deepen it, coming down a little bit closer to the floor on your right side. Inhale, lift up, palms facing each other. Exhale, open those arms, hinge forward. And whenever I say hinging in yoga, it's a movement of the pelvis, so it's a hinge at the hip creases, not anywhere along the spine. The spine moves in one piece, and we're just bending at the pelvis. The gap between the thigh bones and the pelvis is exactly what we are looking for. A little bit of pulling there, that's what we're after. Inhaling to come back to center and swapping those legs. As a way to add focus and to try and keep the mind under control. So we want to give something a little bit more intense for the mind to control, so that we to truly recalibrate. So we're gonna add to our regular breathing a yoga lock, and what we are going to practice is called the root lock or Mula Bandha. So what we're going to be doing is practicing our complete yoga breathing, so long breaths into the nose, leading with the abdomen all the way to the tops of the lungs, and vice versa, breathing out from the tops of the lungs down into your abdomen. In between the inhalation and exhalation, and vice versa, we are going to bring the focus to the pelvic floor. So those fibers of muscles that run at the base of the spine, the muscles that we pull up against if we want to stop a flow of urine mid-flow. And we're just going to do a quick activation, release, and then we resume with our breath. So let's try it. At the end of the inhalation, we pause, draw up, release, and breathe out. At the end of the exhalation, draw up, release, breathing. At your own pace. This movement is something that no one will be able to tell you're doing. It cannot really be demonstrated, so you kind of have to have a feeling for yourself, but really it's something that it does not involve any other part of the body, so there's no activation of the abdominals, there's no clenching of the buttocks. It's just a very, very subtle activation at the base of the spine. It's very healthy. It's an area full of energy. We have the whole upper body weight that wants to sink through there, and we're just going to squeeze it up to allow that weight to be retained, that energy to be retained in the upper body. It can be a little challenging, some people find it disturbing even, and if you find that that's you can just lighten up and move back to a regular style of breathing. Otherwise, another breath. and then release. Particularly good in trying to keep the mind under control by giving it something subtle. All right, so with the next inhalation, we're bringing our arms up one more time. This time we're gonna be prepared for a twist. As we exhale, we open the torso to the left, and both arms come down, right hand outside of the left thigh, and the fingertips of the left hand come into the floor or block look-alike that is behind you. We're not using the strength of the arms to go deeper into the twist. It's just led by the spine itself. The next exhalation, let's try and go a little bit deeper and take that chin over the left shoulder. You want to have that spine nice and long. The only movement here is the spine winding on itself. And then from here we inhale to undo back to center, bringing both arms up. Exhale to the right. Nice and easy start. And with the breath, just trying to keep that breath full, using complete yoga breathing, and you'll find that there's some constraints, some resistance there, but that's good. Working towards that resistance, you are helping your body get healthier, becoming stronger breathers, and massaging the body using your diaphragm and your internal muscles to achieve a kind of massage that otherwise would be very hard. Inhale, lifting both arms up. And as we exhale, we hinge forward so that we can stretch the other hip. Not going too far, just feeling a little pull somewhere around the hips, not rounding the spine. And inhale, we come back. So if we are on a block, you just put that on the side and you press on your hands and you bring those hands forward so that we come to all fours. And from here we're going to tuck the toes under and slowly come up, sitting onto our heels with feet together, knees together. And this is the first time we're really balancing tonight or this afternoon or whichever time you're practicing. So the knees are aligned with each other. Bring the hands to pray at the heart. And we're just going to breathe here, just watching those stabilizers muscles that keep us straight here. Let's see if we can do a twist here. Let's inhale first. Exhale, open the torso to your right. With the left eye, the tail of the left eye, just check that the knees are still level with each other. If the left is going further than the right, that means that you are not really twisting with the spine, but you're using your pelvis. So that's not what you should be doing. So you should be coming back and trying it again. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. It can get pretty hard. If you have enough, come back onto your knees. Inhale back to center and release. Hands to the floor. We are going to place the hands behind and we're going to come back sitting down. And another balance is this one. We're going to get a hold of the front of the knees, lengthen the spine, squeeze the abdomen towards the thighs, and we are preparing for boat pose or navasana. So inhalation here, and then you exhale, lift one foot, the other foot, you're tilting back slightly. I can better demonstrate it this way. So this is just every time we're balancing, this time we're balancing on the sitting bones. We need to recruit stabilize the muscles and just most importantly concentrating, bringing the mind under control and keeping the mind away from our daily worries and thoughts. And so it's really good to have a balancing class to recalibrate and reset and just find a new focus, which you might lately find hard to do. So if you want to go further, the arms release from the knees and the feet come up. You can have a bend in the knees and you can then move to the full pose, stretching forward with those legs. You want to make sure that the spine stays nice and long. If it's rounding and it's taking you back to the floor, then it's clearly too much. And then from here we bring the knees down again, and from here we allow ourselves to roll back onto the spine. And we do a few of these rolls. We go up with the feet, and it's a nice way to check that the initial warm-up has been successful. You feel the whole spine is ready. If you feel that there's any weirdness, discomfort, then perhaps you need a little bit extra warm-up. So this is the final check, and we're gonna find ourselves soon into a standing position. So let's try and move directly standing with the help of our hands to lift and meet at the front of the mat. So we're going to continue with a little bit more balancing. So we're going to balance on the left foot. So lift the toes, spread them, plant them back down. We want to just let go any background noise, just let it fade away. Let's initially do something light and get a little bit harder as we go. We're going to inhale to lift the right foot in front of us, and we're going to do some rotations with the ankle one direction and the other direction. And then we bend the right knee and we bring it up, and then we bring it to the side, and we move into tree pose. So from here we can place that foot, that sole into the calf, or even lower if you're feeling wobbly, or you can move to a fuller version of the pose by rolling the calf inward so that you can more easily place the sole of the right foot inside the left inner thigh. Ideally that heel comes close to the inguinal canal. Allow gravity to bring the right hip back down to be level with the left. Your arms can be out to aid your balance, and if you're having a bad day, you can have a wall or something next to you, or you can flex your wrists so that you kind of pretend you have two walls either side, and kind of that's really good at helping with the balance. Breathing, keeping your abdominal breathing going. Your breathing soft and your mind is on the breath. And you can change the position of your hands. You can bring your hands to prayer at the heart, and you can bring them overhead. And you can also choose to separate the arms to bring a V shape into the arms with some energy, and add in Chin Mudra. So that's the thumbs and index fingers finding each other as a way to help with balancing. Having a very good day with balancing, try closing your eyes. Not easy here with the soft grass, but I'll have a go. Right. And let's exhale, bringing the hands to prayer, the heart again, microbending the left knee, and bringing the right knee back up to where it was initially, arms out. We're going to inhale, and as we exhale, we stretch that right leg back behind as we tip forward with the torso, and we're getting into what's called Warrior 3. We're still not fully warmed up, so we don't want to overdo it, so just keep the arms like that, like an airplane, and we want to try and keep these hips level. Common mistake is to open up the pelvis to the right. We don't want to do that. So as you come down with the torso and you lift the right leg up behind accordingly, you're going to stretch more with the back of that left leg. And then we microband the left knee, and we step the right foot all the way back, and we find ourselves into a high lunge. The back leg is completely straight, as I'll show you. And then we inhale to scoop both arms up, palms facing each other. You want to have a neutral spine, not arching. And exhale, we sink, pressing strongly into the front foot, pressing strongly into the balls of the back foot. And see that energy coming in with the inward breath, and with the outward breath, engage Mula Bandha. Retain the energy in the upper body. You can add the Mula Bandha in between inward and outward breath like we did before, keeping that mind under control. Inhale here one more time. Exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale one more time. There, and as you exhale, you open the torso to the left. gentle twist, mindful that you're not dragging the whole pelvis with you in that twist. If you like, if available to you, you can try and go further, tucking the right elbow outside of the left thigh, just squeezing the tummy in, sliding it past the thigh, palms against each other, making sure that nothing has changed in the posture of your lower body. You can extend both arms, gazing at the floor or at the side, breathing into your abdomen deeply still, and palms back together if they were apart. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, we're going to lower the right knee to the floor and come onto the top of the back foot. So as we have done this, you might notice some discomfort in that right knee. You can solve it if you're on a mat by rolling the mat over. If not, you can use a blanket of some sort on the knee. Bring that block back to be inside that left foot. We're going to inhale here, and as we exhale, we bring the torso forward and we bring the fingertips onto that block. And from here we're going to roll onto the outer edge of that left foot, and now we're opening up the whole of the inside and the back side of the left hip. So now we just stay with the breath. We're going to inhale, lengthening the spine, exhale, coming down a little bit more. So it's important that you come down with the long spine. Again, we don't want to fold forward in any case by rounding the spine. You might not need the block eventually, but what I'm after eventually is having your forearms down. So they can be either onto your block or book or onto the floor. And it gets pretty strong there. So this is called lizard pose. Breathe into it as you open that hip. And if you are on the floor or on the block with your forearms, you're going to place the weight onto the right forearm. If you're on your hands, place the weight onto the right hand. Tuck the toes in the back foot. Step the left foot all the way back to meet the right foot. If you're on your hands, bring your knees down and come onto your forearms. And we all meet here with forearms on the floor, palms against each other, tucking the toes under, and knees can be on or off the floor into a low plank. Breathing into this low plank, a little bit additional core strength here. You want to really work towards taking the shoulder blades apart from each other. And then we exhale to release the pelvis to the floor, reaching back into the feet, separating the hands, Sphinx pose. Just press into your elbows and forearms as if you want to draw them back towards you, but you can't draw them back because there's the friction of the floor. Energizing the inner line of the legs, squeezing that pelvic floor up, and now through the compound movement of energizing the pelvic and bringing those elbows towards you, you are starting to arch back a little bit more, using not only the lower part of the spine, but every part of the spine, every pair of vertebrae contributing to it. Shoulders stay down, away from the ears. You can gaze upwards, but not throw the neck back. You want to keep that neck nice and healthy. And then from here we release that energy, we separate the elbows, and we bring the chin back to the floor. We bring the hands to be under the shoulders, we touch the toes under, and we lift up into a downward facing dog. So pressing strongly into the hands, lowering the shoulders, micro bending the knees, taking the abdomen towards the thighs. And from here, we're going to try and step or leapfrog the feet either side of the hands. Front of the mat, descend into your malasana or yoga squat. Transitioning here. We're gonna make an attempt at an arms balance. So here on top of requiring the concentration that you need for the standing balances, you need a little bit of shoulder strength. So let's have a go. So Bakasana, is a pose that has some minor risks, so to minimize the risk you can place something soft in front of you, just about 1 to 2 feet ahead of you, something like a pillow. So what we're going to be doing is place the hands onto the mat or the floor and just walking the feet to be right behind the hands. Works best if you're on something hard. And then from here you're going to place each knee against the respective upper arm, the back side of the upper arms, and slightly to the outside of it, making it easier. And we're going to tilt back and forth a couple of times to have a sense for it. And then you lift one foot off the floor, and then you lift the other foot off the floor, perhaps. And if you have a pillow, it should be right under your head, so that if you fall on something soft. You can work to press onto the hands so that you can lift and release back down. From here, we're going to jump our feet back again into downward facing dog. And just here we go. Walking the dog, just bringing one heel down at a time. Nice stretch for the calves. We are going to have to move back to the front of the mat to the other side of the sequence. So come up onto your fingertips and you can step, walk or jump the feet in between the hands. Feet are still hip width apart. Keep your knees bent and allow the spine to just bend and melt down. And this is just a nice way to recover a little bit. And if you like, you can get each hand to hold your opposing elbow and you let yourself dangle there. Breathe into the abdomen, watching that wave that lifts you on inhalation and allows you to fall back on exhalation. You can watch the floor under you or whatever is behind you. Just nice and soothing, and using gravity to just undo the work of gravity in our daily postures, which is standing or sitting mostly. So releasing your hands back to the floor, keeping your knees bent, inhaling to unwind the spine up one vertebra at a time, coming up and bringing your head up and your arms up to the ceiling, palms together. Exhale, hands to prayer, the heart, and we're back in Tadasana. And we're going to do the other sequence, the other side of the sequence. Fixing the microphone. All right, so this time we're balancing on the right foot. So let's try to remember the sequence we did the last time. So lift through the arches of the right foot, feel grounded onto it. The arms can be out and you can start bringing that left leg forward and lifting it off the floor. We're going to do some ankle rotations, one direction, other direction. Bending the left knee, bringing it up, opening to the side. And now you can choose the variation of tree pose that you would like to attempt on this side. So you can go super easy, easy, or intermediate. If you got sweaty feet, definitely it's going to be an additional challenge. If you have a towel, it's pretty useful to wipe them. Check your hips. You want to allow gravity to bring that left hip level with the right. Right leg stays in Tadasana, which means it's fully engaged with all the muscles around it, supporting fully that right leg. Arms out. Nice help for your balance. Watching your breath. It's impossible to balance well if you're not concentrating. Concentrating requires breathing properly and just being aware of that breath. And if other thoughts are starting to come into your mind, you'll be quickly losing that concentration and losing your ability to balance. Change the position of the hands to where you'd like them to be. Remember Chin Mudra if you'd like to be in this blooming tree version of the pose. Feeling brave, close your eyes. Just allow that breath to stay soft, breathing into the abdomen, in and out through the nose. Complete yoga breathing as much as you can. Exhale, hands to prayer, the heart. And then microbind the right knee first for safety, bringing the left knee in and up, arms out. Inhale, exhale, stretch that left leg back, tilt forward as you counterbalance with the back leg, and you're like an aeroplane wanting to go straight, not turning right. So we don't want to lift the left hip ideally. And if you feel that you can stretch, you can come down a little bit more, stretch. There's a lot of stretching and strength here, but it's important to stay with the breath. The breath is energizing as well and allows you to concentrate. And then inhale, lift slightly, microbend the right knee and step the left foot all the way back. We come into our high lunge. Inhale, scoop both arms up, palms facing each other. Exhale, sink into that. And just again, gazing forward, feeling strong, stretching the front of the left leg and just making sure that you are pressing strongly into both feet. Breathing. Engaging Mula Bandha in between breaths. And the next exhalation, hands to prayer, the heart. Inhale here. And exhale, twist to the right. Twisting normally is about 40 degrees for the spine. If you're twisting 90, then definitely you can say something is not fully right. So just come back and retry it more lightly without using the pelvis. Going deeper only if your lower back is happy with it, as it can be pretty strong if you're trying to work through a lower back that doesn't want to do this. Extending the arms if you like. Keep breathing into the abdomen. Palms back together if they were apart. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lower the left knee down, coming onto the top of the back foot, coming into the low lunge. And we're going to have a block again inside the right foot, hands to prayer, the heart. This time let's start with just moving that foot onto its outer edge. Now we got a lot of space in there. Inhale here. Exhale, hinge forward. Long spine as you come down. Hands down, find the block first, and then just slowly using the exhalations to come down. The inhalations are there to allow you to pause, lengthen the spine, and then with the next exhalation you come down, keeping the same shape of the spine. Not as easy as it might initially appear to come down with your forearms on the floor. You might find that one side is more open than the other, and you might find yourself disappointed that you're not able to do it as well on this side, or perhaps the other way around. Breathe into the abdomen as you're opening that right hip and you're stretching those muscles inside and around the back of that hip. And breathing, essential here, not pausing that breath, just allow yourself to breathe full into it, and that breath really helps you open up that hip a little bit more. Again, as before, wherever you are, you're pressing your weight onto the left, either forearm or hand, so that you can tuck the toes under in the back foot and step the right foot to be next to the left. And again, we have palms against each other, forearms on the floor, knees on or off the floor into another low plank. This time we're going to fold each forearm over the opposite, and we're going to do some side low plank. So weight onto the left forearm first, roll onto the outer edge of the left foot, you open yourself to the right side. Inhale, lift the right arm up. can take that right arm overhead, aligning it with the torso. You can gaze up at the top hand for an additional balance challenge while you're fully strengthening. Make sure those hips stay up if you are here, otherwise you can bend the left knee and bring it to the floor. Roll back to center and open to the other side. Left arm up, left arm overhead, gaze up at that top hand and rolling back to center. Exhale, lowering the pelvis to the floor, separating the hands. One more time, Sphinx pose, just allowing that spine to open up. Feeling the stretch in the front of your torso, stretching the abdominals. Exhale, release, separating the elbows, bringing the chin to the floor. Bringing the hands to be under the shoulders. We're gonna do a stronger variation of Sphinx called Cobra, Bhujangasana. So keep the elbows in. Just energize the legs, lift the pelvic floor, press into the hands, and start lifting. At some point you feel the spine wants to arch, pause there, and just make sure that you start using every vertebra in that spine as you're lifting, not only the lower back. Shoulders down, elbows in, pelvis stays on the floor. The neck is aligned with the top of the spine, so we're not looking at tossing that head back, just keeping it soft there. Your fingers are spread, you're pressing strongly into the full surface of the hand. You're not feeling any strain in the lower back. If you do, just bend those elbows and come down. Exhale, bend the elbows. Everyone comes back down to where we started. Chin to the floor. Separate the feet, tuck the toes, press into the hands. And we lift up onto the knees. From here, we stay onto the tops of the feet. And we come back sitting onto the heels into child pose. Forehead on the floor and stretching your arms forward with elbows off the floor. Breathing into the abdomen. Feeling that wave of the breath. And as you're doing that, watch how you're breathing. Try to slow down that breath to come back to a soft pace of breathing, which means that you are pacing yourself right. The right pace for yoga is the pace at which you can breathe throughout the class with the long, smooth, slow breath. In and out through the nose. Inhale, lift your gaze up, pressing onto your hands, bringing your hips forward, tuck the toes under, lifting up, downward facing dog. And just a couple of walking the dog cycles, bringing one heel at a time down. So we're gonna do a little bit more, maybe finish off with one last balance, and then we wind down with some stretching. So again, coming up onto your fingertips, and we are going to leapfrog the feet either side of the hands, and hands to prayer. Inhale, lift back to standing, bringing the feet back to be hip width apart, and let's attempt one last balance. Let's try Lord of the Dancers. So we are going to balance on the left foot, and we're going to catch the back foot just with the right foot with the right hand from the big toe side, and then we lift the left arm up. Inhale here. Exhale, you tip forward with the torso as you kick back with that right leg, and you're basically just like for that warrior three pose. You're just using the back leg as a counterbalance for the torso tipping forward, and common temptation is to open the pelvis to the right, but let's try to avoid that. And then micro bend in the left knee, coming back to where we started, and right foot back down. And just the other side, giving you the other angle, balancing on the right foot, catching the left foot behind, bringing the Left knee next to the right. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, tipping forward. And you can really kick with that back foot to maintain the tension. And trying to maintain that right leg straight. You don't have to come down very much, but it will be feeling better if you're managing to maintain it straight. Getting a little bit of stretch as well. And micro bend the right knee. Inhale, lift back up. Left foot back down. Back to Tadasana. So we're gonna come back down on the mat for a stretch. Hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, lift the heels off the floor, and we're coming back, sitting onto the heels as we did before. From here, the hands come down and behind us. And we're just coming down to, we need to kind of cool down and allow our body to come back to a calm state so that we can finish off the class with a bit of relaxation and a sample of meditation. So let's do this, bringing the left heel in front of the right hip, and then we place the sole of the right foot on the outside of that left knee. Bringing that left foot slightly further forward. And so a couple of things here. You want to have both sitting bones in contact with the mat. So if the right one is lifting up completely, I suggest you place the sole of the right foot in front or inside of that left knee. Otherwise, you're a happy chap there. Let's start with the twist. Inhale, both arms up. And as you exhale, you open the torso to your right, hugging that right knee with the inside of your left elbow and pressing the right fingertips into the floor behind you. And just softly gazing at your right, gazing over the right shoulder. And this, you can extend it by placing the whole of the left arm outside of the right thigh. Again, for twist, no force should be attempted. It should be natural. If you're feeling that the lower back is not happy, just softly moving back. Inhale. Everyone now comes back to center. We're going to lift both arms up. And as we exhale, we hinge forward. So this time, as we hinge forward with the long spine, we are going to compress our hips down. And as that happens, we're going to extend and stretch muscles that run across the hips. Those are called rotators. And we're also going to stretch the outside of the hips. You'll feel it quite a bit on the outside, the TFL bands on the outside of our legs. So just moving slowly. Every inhalation is a lift, lengthening the spine. Every exhalation, we are just aiming for a bit more, but with no rush. The breath is still full, is still into the abdomen. You can still play with Mula Bandha in between breaths, keeping the mind under control. And as we're doing this, very quickly the heart rate will drop. Our breathing will be less labored. And we're going to enjoy this stretch as a preparation for our relaxation. Inhale to lift slowly back to vertical spine. Let's try to move to the other side by keeping the feet where they are, placing both hands to the left, and without changing the position of the feet, doing a 360. And we will find ourselves perfectly on the other side, maybe. So make sure that the right foot is a little bit further up. That right knee should be right in front of your right hip. And just inhale, lifting the spine, so long spine and both hips on the floor. Inhale, lift both arms up. Exhale, open to the left this time. It's your choice whether you'd like to keep it mild or going a little bit deeper. Gazing over the left shoulder, gauging the shape of your spine by placing the left arm against it. You want to have the spine really nice and lengthened. Still breathing with the complete yoga breathing. Exhale, back to center. Extend that, forgot to mention last time that this forward fold is best practice if you take that left foot further out to the right. So we're working towards bringing the knees on top of each other. And again, if the left hip is lifting up completely, you bring that left foot inward and inward until it works. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, hinging forward. And you don't have to go very far to feel the stretch. Just breathe into it. And just find the right spot for you, that sweet spot where you're feeling you're enjoying the pose, that you feel good or between good and great. And at the same time, you are starting to challenge and discover your limits in a safe way. And just starting to watch that breath again. Inhaling one more time, and this time just drawing the hands in and lift back to a vertical spine. Hands come behind us and we lift both feet off the floor as we bring the soles right in front of us, giving a shake to both legs. And we are done with asanas even for this class. So hopefully you found them useful, but you'll find even nicer what is about to come, a little bit of relaxation. So let's just lie down and allow the legs to be stretched and the feet to come out either side. If you have something soft to put under the knees, like a blanket or a bolster, that is also recommended. Allow the palms to face the sky. Readjust your neck, shoulders, so that you can stay here comfortably without any additional readjustments for the next few minutes. Just watch your breath, watch that breath slow down, and we forget about all of what we have done in the last 45 minutes, and we're just allowing that mind to synchronize with the breath, watching the breath. With every outward breath, just allow that mind to help your body relax and unwind. And I want you to keep the mind on the breath. And this completes this class, which was themed around concentrating. I want you to concentrate on the breath. Concentration means even just for 1 second, but gonna go beyond concentration soon enough, leading to meditation, which is when you can concentrate for a longer period of time. And just the outside sounds, lights, scents are all fading away. Your senses becoming less and less relevant. Your body also becomes less relevant. With every outward breath, you just align the muscles to melt, those joints to be soft, body just surrendering to gravity, as if it wanted to melt and blend with the ground underneath. And then you just try and keep the mind onto the breath, watching the hundreds of different subtle feelings that you get by breathing. Cool air flowing in through the nostrils, warmer air flowing out. Your abdomen lifting and coming back down towards the spine. Your rib cage pressing against the floor underneath, and then release. The breath is like a wave. And you're just watching your body breathing. Hope you enjoyed the practice of Shavasana, the pose of the corpse. Nice way to finish off a yoga class, but we're not quite done. We're gonna try to keep that concentration to transfer it onto a yoga sound soon. So let's reawaken the body first so that we can move a little bit. Wiggle fingers and toes. Nod and shake the head. Move into a deep stretch. Knees into the chest, squeeze them into the chest, draw a circle to massage the lower back, one direction, the other direction. Roll onto one side into recovery. Seated position. When you're sitting, it's nice to keep your spine nice and lengthened, so if you can sit on a cushion or the edge of a block or something so that it's comfortable to basically sit down. That will make the whole experience a lot nicer. Finishing off, practice of mantra meditation. The yoga sound is the sound of a mantra, sound given to us by yoga, where mantra means drawing the mind away. So keep drawing the mind away from our world and keeping it to something at higher level. So we practice with the mantra Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. A few times around, I'll chant it, you chant it back, and we do this a few times around. Try to bathe your mind into the sound. Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. Your turn. Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana. Last time together. Gopala, Govinda, Rama, Madana, Mohana. Thanks for joining this class as well. Namaste.